Test, testing.
Committee, ready? Everybody's been waiting for this. The November 17th, 2025 meeting of the Woolwich Township Committee is being called to order. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Here.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Here.
Committeewoman Williams.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Here.
Mayor Mathias.
Here. Everyone can please rise to salute the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to welcome everybody and thank you for coming out for this very special evening. We have a very proud moment. We have 4 new officers who are going to be joining our department here at Woolwich Township. Our department started in 1968. And since that time, in almost over 50 years, we have grown from being such a small farming community to now covering over 20,000 residents. These 4 gentlemen are going to be joining a storied history and lots of fantastic talent that we have here, and they are making the utmost commitment to our community and its safety. So, that being said, I'm going to invite each of the gentlemen one at a time to come up for their swearing in, as well as to have a family member or a loved one join you, accompany you, as well as hold the Bible for you while you say your oath. And again, thank you very much for stepping forward to uphold justice and to protect our community. So, Christian Rice, who would you like? I'm actually going to put down, but not yours. And then you're going to go to the middle. And then raise your right hand and move the right to the front. Put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. And you'll repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Christian Rice,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments established
to the government established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of the office of
of the office of
8th class patrolman
patrolman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Matt Farley. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of 8th class patrolman according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Drew Ford, while he's signing up. left hand on the Bible. I state your name.
I, Drew Forrest,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of
all the duties of the office of
A-class patrolman
class patrolman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I repeat your name.
I, Zachary Millard,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of A-class patrolman
all the duties of the office of A-class patrolman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Again, congratulations to all, and thank you for joining us. We're going to take a moment to take some pictures with some of the other officers from the Woolwich Township Police Department.
Mayor, can we get a picture of you and with them?
I need a motion to return to. All right, can I have a motion to return to regular session?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. We have returned to regular session. There you go. We are now at the first public comment session of our meeting. The public is reminded to please stand and state their name and address for the record prior to addressing the committee. Can I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The floor is now open. Oh, I forgot to move the microphone back to the middle.
Wow, that would have been catastrophic.
Is there anyone from the public who would like to step forward?
Seeing no one, no? Oh.
No.
Okay. Seeing no one come forward, motion to close.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion in 2 seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
The floor is now closed. Ordinance 2025-19, ordinance of the Township of Woolwich amending Chapter 135, Article 2 of the Code of the Township of Woolwich. This is a first reading introduction. Can I have a motion to introduce?
Motion to introduce?
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All right.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You almost seem surprised.
Okay.
Just if we could, before the next meeting,
Yep.
just have the map so we can just identify
Oh.
the lettering, because I know it was
Okay.
modified, that would be great. And then secondly, I know we listed in there twice the designated season. I'm not sure if it makes sense to define it, especially because some of them believe that they are a 12-month in-season program.
Well, I believe it is defined by the NCAA. So by using the NCAA as the guiding principle, that defines what's in season and what's not. So yeah, I think you're right. A lot of sports identify themselves as 12 months, but if you go by the NCAA, which is highlighted in here, then that would,
Okay,
I
that's
can
fair.
correct that.
I just know we have that conversation
Yes,
every meeting.
yes.
So.
Yes, and I did already give myself a reminder to generate that map.
Wonderful, thank you.
All right. Then roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. Ordinance 2025-20, ordinance providing for the acquisition of a ladder truck and related fire equipment by and for the Township of Woolwich in the County of Gloucester, State of New Jersey, appropriating $1,980,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,886,146 bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof. This is the first reading introduction of this ordinance. Can I have a motion to introduce?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All right, any questions thereof for this introduction?
I do have a couple. First off, I know we're going through the regional review right now. Can you just remind me which towns are included in that?
Logan, Swedesboro, Woolwich, and South Harrison.
So not Harrison?
No.
Okay, we were having some debate at break time as to who was included. Okay. The other question is, in terms of what I haven't seen, I know we verbally have received it, but we actually haven't seen, from my view, a quote of the actual truck.
Oh. Well, yeah, that had to be provided to our bond counsel, and in order to issue all of this, but I have a print off for you.
You can send it just for, it's just first reading, so
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yep.
Just want to make sure we have that. And then lastly, the biggest concern I have is, again, with the dollars that we're having going out from a Woolwich perspective. I know there is an item, at least from the email that you provided from the financial review, which I really appreciated, that we can certainly seek funds from other potentials, right, developers or whatever it might be. But from a Swedesboro perspective, I know when we had our town hall, it was brought up in just how payments were made for vehicles in the past. And it seemed just coincidental more that it was one party or one town versus another town that was buying at the time. But for this one, I didn't know why we needed to do everything coming from a Woolwich perspective only, as compared to a split. Again, doesn't have to be 50-50, but some type of a ratio, knowing the size of this vehicle, and it would certainly work for both towns.
Understood. And I think I have the deputy chief here who can also speak to it, but there is, as you heard from the history at the town hall, and we will be talking about it, unfortunately, the recording system didn't work, so we were unable to record that. But historically, each vehicle or apparatus has been purchased by one town or another, and so the towns take turn purchasing apparatus. So the Woolwich Township has purchased the last ladder truck. And right now we're in line to purchase this ladder truck. However, there are other apparatus that Swedesboro has bought in whole. So they have not asked Woolwich to contribute towards that. So I believe they are considering doing a tender truck.
Yeah, no, they currently, the rescue truck is currently owned by the forestry. Okay, that truck is due for replacement. So we're going to the borough to replace that. That truck, to replace that truck is about 1.2, 1.3 million. And they're trying to find funding through some other resources avenues, how they're going to do that. So what this truck will do will actually be a help to Woolwich in the long run, because it's going to help your ISO rating and fire insurance, all that kind of stuff, because this one's going to actually be a combination fire truck rescue. Okay, we call it a squad. It'll carry some of the rescue equipment and also act as a firefighting piece. So it won't be just a standalone piece, it'll be a multifunctional piece. So the borough is going to put the money out for that. That is why the Woolwich Township is doing this provider.
So again, I don't think anything is precluded because we have 4 years to consider all these options. But as far as Woolwich buying this at 1.98 million and then Swedesboro buying something for 1.2, if we're looking to split it, then we're just kind of doing what we're doing now. So, because we would be splitting the rescue. So,
Yeah, 1.9 versus 1.2 is a...
well, you
definitely
also
a
have to look at
difference.
proportional share.
I understand,
So,
for sure.
right. But again, as was stated inside, and just for the public's information, this is the first part. So this is the introduction, then we will have a public hearing session at our next meeting to finalize this, and this is just the approval to bond out. That does not mean we are actually issuing a note. There will be a resolution that has to take place for that, and that happens actually when the ladder truck is ready. This just allows us to put basically the fire truck on hold, put our order in for it with the 4-year build time on it. So yeah. Any additional questions?
No, I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm just very interested in the quote because obviously dollars fluctuate in 4 years, so I just wanted to make sure that this is locking us into a point, or if said goods were to decrease by miracle, then we could get the lower rate.
That's funny. I didn't see that in the contract. But they do have caps on there, and again, this was reviewed by our financial planners, by our bond counsel, and by our auditors as well. They looked over all the quotes and the language therein. There are provisions in there for. They use a specific term, I want to say like astronomical increases, but otherwise we are locked into this price. So there is a small caveat in there that in this certain circumstance, the price could go up. But other than that, we're locked in. So I'll send it over to you. And it is part of the state contract, so that also helps. But the fire chief did receive 3 quotes for this apparatus, and it's exactly how they want it. So there's not going to be any additions to the outfitting of said vehicle.
Yep. And like we talked about in the town hall, I certainly want to see the bigger picture because obviously we want to make sure we have staffing, right, for said truck to actually go out on calls for sure. And then certainly the regional study that's going on, I'm just curious how that's going to work. And my biggest concern really is that year 1, because that year 1 of payment is also our first year of the 3-year per person 100%. And that's still on our 6-year huge 322 payment. So I'm very, very concerned with that first year. I know sometimes we can do an interest only on a bond for said couple of years. I just want to make sure that, again, that first year, maybe the first 2 years, I would love to, maybe if I can get on the phone with a Casey or somebody, I would love to.
Well, I was going to say, as special projects, we need to re-up that outlook anyways. So yes, if you would like to take a look at all that.
Yeah, because like I said, that's the biggest, again, from a town dollars and cents is that year 4, year 5 from now, and we're still paying, I think, like $6-7 million to pay off the sewer.
Right.
Great. All right, thank you.
All right, any additional questions?
No, just a comment that I'm happy you were finally here. I know when I first got on committee 6 years ago or so, we were told we needed to buy a fire truck. We didn't have any money at the time, so that didn't happen. And now the fire truck is broken constantly. So I'm happy to hear that we're moving forward. And I think the mayor was relatively clear on this point. All of this is doing is allowing us to ultimately bond for this money. No money's changing hands at this point, which is why Committeeman Frederick is going to be able to work on some of the particulars later. This just finally gets that 4-year build time rolling so that we can eventually replace this truck. And on a more somber note, the first thing I saw when I opened the news this morning was a fire truck that failed on its way to a fire, which I'll be honest is something that has concerned me greatly about this truck. And I'm glad that we're finally in a position to do something.
Thank you. No further questions? Roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. All right, resolutions. So I would look for a resolution for consent agenda for resolutions 2025-292 through resolution 2025-302. And I have a motion for a consent agenda.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any removals? Hearing none. Can I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-292 through resolution 2025-302?
Motion.
I think we skipped the all in favor on that.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Can I get an all in favor for a consent agenda for resolution 2025-292 through resolution 2025-302?
Aye.
Aye. All right, now how about a resolution to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Agenda. All right, I have a motion to adopt. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions?
Just one question regarding the last resolution, 302. This is the additional paving of
Yes.
the new Swedesboro, or the original lot, I'm sorry.
It's in Woolwich.
Yeah, right. Was just, obviously that's an additional about, what, $280 or so $1,000, and not little change. I'm just curious, I know we had, we'll call it quote unquote extra money from the town hall that we discussed, I think it was June time period.
Yeah.
I was just curious if we were, I don't think we've talked about as a committee of the other remaining funds that we could use for lighting, for other areas. Obviously, this is one of the pieces that came up, just to know if that was other considerations that we're looking for.
Yes, well, I mean, I think the committee had talked about doing lighting and doing the paving.
Right.
So the lighting, we're still waiting for a quote thereof.
Yes, we're waiting on finalized plans. There was a little bit of back and forth between Musco and the township just for some providing comments on the lighting for the existing fields. It's currently in their court to provide us the final revisions, and then once we get that, we can forward that to the contractor and see what their quote could be to install the lighting plan as per Musco's.
And to be clear, we're talking about FGHI.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is in the works. We just don't have a quote ready to provide. And this resolution is very timely because they are paving right now.
Right.
So this would get paved within the next week or two, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So if we approve it, it's getting paved in the next week or two, to just keep ahead of the schedule while the plants are still open. But yes, there are other items on there. And again, if you have additional additions that we could look at, or actually you can talk to Mark because we added new picnic tables, different structures like that to refresh the existing park. And also Committeewoman Williams is familiar with some of them. But it would absolutely send an email because we can touch base with that, because we do have a little bit of additional funds from that original bond that we took out in 2019 when we thought that the park was going to be less than it is.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I guess what I was looking for is just, again, here's total amount minus obviously the big project minus this one. What do we have left?
Yeah, we
and
can
then just
provide
kind of a basic itemization.
Yep.
That'd be great. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any additional questions?
I was kind of repeat my last remark. Glad we're finally here. It's been long overdue to pave that parking lot.
All right, hearing no additional questions, roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Vicentina.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. All right. We've now entered the report section. Administrator report.
Just a couple items. Thank you for your time. Personnel, Mandy Renner started today, which is great. Took her around, bless you. Deputy Municipal Clerk and Financial Clerk. So she'll be helping out in both of those locations, and she's got some great experience coming from the City of Salem as Deputy Clerk over there, and I think it was a great day today with Jessica and really planning out this next week and what she's going to be doing. So she's going to be, I think, a great asset for us, the knowledge that she brings. We're starting the budget process, so we're going to begin to send everyone all the department heads worksheets so they can begin to fill out their budgets. I also noted on there that Andy Hoagland recently shared with me that he plans on retiring at the end of January. And so as I chatted with Bill Miller, who is interested in that spot, he has all those certifications, and I chatted with he and Andy just to see what their needs are this next year, and both said that they really need, which I kind of jotted in here, they're going to need additional MEP, building, fire, inspectors, more than what they have now based on what they see coming up in the next few years. So they're saying in the next few months they would like us to see us hire those inspectors. So I asked them to put together some job descriptions for each one, as well as how much time they think, rather than, give them 12 hours the way the other guys have. I don't think they would need that initially, and then a wage. So we're going to come back together again next couple weeks and start to go over that process and put a schedule together. That's all I have. I won't go through all the report, and not a lot of the large changes or anything like that, but any questions that you might have for me?
All right, thank you very much. Tax collector is submitted. Woolwich Fire Company.
One-page sheet was a report was submitted this month. I was asked to cut down on the paperwork. All that information is good, it's always available. 60.
Actually, Dan, can you come up to the microphone, please? Sorry, so we can make sure it's recording.
60 incidents last month for October. A little uptick in the response time just based on the availability of folks during the daytime. Again, most of our calls consistently are during that 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., 5 p.m. block, which we all know. 33 in the township, 7 on the turnpike, 12 in Swedesboro, 5 in South Harrison, and everything else is negligible, so we're just keeping it close to home in October. Bright and early Saturday, this coming Saturday on the 22nd, we have our last live fire training session. Everybody, including the deputy chief, the township administrator, is invited to come join us for the action. Stand in the hot fire room and watch the people do the job. Go on out, see the action. We're focusing on wrapping up our training. Obviously, I'd like to thank the committee, the mayor, everybody for our town hall meeting. I think that was a good town hall session, just to get some numbers out in the air, and obviously we'll talk about what's coming very soon. And always the ladder truck, as the deputy mayor said, we're here. So, but more to come on that. That's all I have. Questions for the fire company? Okay. Everything else is further bill.
Thank you. I guess if you can make it on Saturday, it is quite the eye-opening experience to go through one of those burn houses. I know Deputy Mayor and myself have gone through it, and it gives such a greater appreciation to what the volunteers have to do. And I'm still waiting for the invite to the gun range, but I haven't gotten that one yet. But again, the burn house. Again, thank you very much to all of our volunteer firefighters. Yeah. All right.
You can always ride along with us anytime you want. You just gotta let me know and we'll schedule it.
All right. And then the Swedesboro Fire Bureau, I think the report is included. Deputy Chief.
I want to start off thanking you and the committee for giving us those 4 hires. We needed them badly, and this is really, really going to help our patrol division with getting out there. October was pretty busy. We had an uptick in a lot of calls for service. Our patrol division's been doing great. Our detectives have been very, very busy, but they're doing a great job. You can see in some of the accommodations I put in there, they've been hustling and doing a great job. As far as anything new, this next week we're going to have some DWI patrols. We got a grant from the state to do that. I'm not going to put out publicly when they're going to be, but they're going to be next week sometime. There's going to be at least 4 of them. We're going to be escorting the Kiwanis Club in Santa again this year, starting Thursday, December 4th, the 5th, the 7th, and the 13th. That's going to run from 5 to 8 p.m. every night. So you're going to have our officers escorting Santa around. You got a question?
Oh, has the Kiwanis, are they going to do an advertisement for it or something like that that we can put out in Woolwich Wows, or is the?
Yeah, they're going to be posted that one.
Okay.
I think we did it last year too, as far as putting it out there.
Okay, all right. Just make sure we get a copy of it.
And then we, amongst ourselves in the department, donating funds for a Shop with a Cop. That's going to be happening the first week in December to bring some residents out there. They're underprivileged to get some Christmas presents and take the kids out. So we had a really good turnout last year, and it was a good time. Other than that, just the new hires and just getting into the holiday season here and trying to wrap up this year.
Was that the proceeds from the no shave?
Yes.
Very nice.
I don't know exactly what the total is, but everyone put in at least $30, plus some people want a little more.
Fantastic. Thank you for the update. Any questions for the Deputy Chief? All right. Thank you. Township Engineer.
Good evening, Mayor and Committee. You have my report. There's a couple of things I would like to update since I submitted it last. FY 2026 municipal aid for Back Creek Road. Today, the state issued all of their grant allotments for FY 2026. The township received $170,251 to go towards Back Creek Road. We submitted for much more than that. We submitted for the entire length of Back Creek Road. So we're going to have to phase that out, similar to how we did Garland Road. Because it came out today, I haven't had a chance to talk with either Jim or Brian to see what will be most critical into addressing Back Creek Road, whether it be just repaving a segment or maybe addressing specific washout points that we can kind of remedy. But we can discuss that and figure out how to best use that money, and then in future years pave the rest of the road and hopefully get money as we go along.
All right, I know you just received it today, but when do we need to issue, or go out for bond, or bid?
Usually it's 2 years from
2 years.
the day of issuing, so we have 2 years for it to be awarded from today.
Honestly, I wouldn't want to wait that long if we're already doing one section that was from 23. I would want to just hopefully look to just do the next section and do it relatively quickly so that we can have almost one nice section of road, even if it's over 2 years. But, so we can move quicker. It just has to be the ultimate length of time is 2 years.
Yeah, and that's just for awarding the actual bid. It can be,
Okay.
doesn't have to be built and finished in 2 years. That's just awarding the contract. The Bikeways grant has not been released yet. Those typically kind of lag behind a few weeks to a month later, so we don't have any information on that. The Local Freight Impact Fund for Russell Mill Road, the traffic data gathering has been completed. We're processing that data now, and we're going to submit that application before the December 17th deadline, so we'll have that submitted within the month and hear back from them. It usually takes a couple months, not as long as the municipal aid, because they don't get as many applications, but takes probably a few months for them to get back to us there. And similar timeline for that, once they issue, they say what the allowance the township gets, we have 2 years from that date to award the contract.
Well, I didn't hear the project scope.
It's the Local Freight Impact Fund, so it's a special subset of the state trust fund that goes towards 10% roads that see 10% truck traffic or more. And so we try to look for roads along the municipal truck route, Russell Mill Road being one of them. We coordinated with Brian. He said Russell Mill was in more need of paving than Oldman's Creek, I believe. We haven't decided that yet for application. We're probably just going to submit for, actually, no, I apologize.
only a small portion.
I apologize. It was from Woodstown Road to Davidson, yes, thank you.
Because then the rest is county.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And we're going to, for the purposes of this grant, because we didn't get the data for it, between Oakview Terrace and then I think the Harrison boundary, that's going to not be in this application, but the remaining portion between, Davidson and Woodstown Road, that'll be in the scope of this application.
Okay, and then going back to the bike route, what was its scope?
That was the Center Square Road walking trail connection. So that little gap on Center Square Road on the north side where there's no trail, just connecting those two ends and having one continuous trail.
That's what I thought was the answer, but I wanted to
Yeah.
make sure. Thank you.
And are we, hold on, let me pull up the street. Do you have the X from Valley Forge Drive through the gap section in there? Because there was a section we didn't do. We did between Valley Forge and Frederick to redo it, but there's still another section in need of repaving.
We can include that in the scope when we do our design construction plans. We can include both the connection and rehabbing that portion as well.
Yeah, those definitely would need to be done together, or at least rehab before adding the new section.
Right. Okay. Resurfacing Garwin Road, it says here the PSC4 package was submitted. That has been approved since I submitted this on Wednesday. And we have our bid advertisement schedule set. So it was sent to the paper today to be advertised starting Friday. The bid opening is scheduled for December 10th. And just as a reminder, the deadline to award for that one is January 31st. So assuming we get good bids and are able to award from the bid opening on the 10th, we can award on the 15th and be well within that deadline.
And that's from 322 to the train tracks?
That is from 322 all the way up to Mill Road.
Oh, okay.
The entire portion of Garwin.
And what's the
North
estimated
322.
dollar? I'm just trying to compare that to the 170 that we got for Back Creek.
So the total that we got for both phases from the state was 566,749. Our estimate was a little bit above that. Combined, I don't have the number off the top of my head, but I think it was a little bit under 600,000 for that combined. But that, again, is just our estimate. The bids could come in lower than that and then within the grant amount.
So about a tenth of a mile for Back Creek is about that's 170?
I don't pretend to know what the state formula is for giving money, and I don't. Yeah.
So I'll pay for the patchwork. Okay, thank you.
And one other thing I have added on here, it's a new addition, the 120 Holly Drive storm sewer repair quote package. So this was brought to my attention by Jim and Brian with DPW. A resident had brought up an issue of essentially backwashing out in the portion of their front yard at 120 Holly Drive. And it was, after investigating a little bit, it was found that it was due to a hole in the stormwater piping running underneath his front yard and kind of the boundary between his driveway apron and the road. We were able to get a little bit of photos and a little bit of video, and we were able to determine that there was a pretty sizable hole that would go beyond slip lining, so we determined it would be best to do a replacement of the portion of the pipe that was damaged. So this is just a quote package for that work, to excavate down to the pipe, replace the portion of the pipe that is damaged, and then restore the pavement, driveway apron, curbing there as well. We submitted a proposal for quotes. We only got back one quote from our first proposal issue. I know you guys like to see multiple, so I called around to a couple of the contractors. Two of them said they did the work and forgot to submit. So we said, okay, we're going to reissue it again. Please remember to submit. And the deadline for this current issuance is this Friday at 3 p.m. So hopefully we'll get the 3 submissions, the first submission resubmitted, and then the 2 that said that they forgot, to hopefully get a good price and competitive price for this.
So again, just for the rest of the committee, this has been an ongoing issue that the homeowner has had. It is the township's responsibility, and hopefully it'll come in less than $50,000, but this is an unanticipated, but something that the township needs to correct, so.
I was going to say, this has been going on
Yeah.
for several years, right?
Yeah, and this is way beyond or I shouldn't say way beyond, because they can do just about anything, but Public Works cannot handle this because of the depth of the project, so this needs to go out to bid.
Glad you're on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, moving on to Lockout Park. With the approval of the resolution for the change order, the parking lot will be paved either by the end of this week or early next week, in addition to the paving that currently happened this week on the expansion. To give you an update on the water situation that was brought up at last month's meeting, we had a meeting that RVE, the township, Aqua, Swedesboro MUA engineer, and the contractor. Long story short, Swedesboro MUA is giving permission to Aqua to allow us to tie in to Aqua's pipe in Lock Avenue Park, even though it is outside Aqua's service area. Swedesboro MUA is granting permission for that connection to happen. So we will be able to proceed as initially planned on our plans that we had detailed out at bid. So that connection will be happening as soon as we can. We're currently trying to apply for the county road opening permit to make the wet tap happen. We need the county's approval before that happens. So that's currently where that is at the moment.
So again, I'm very glad to hear that. Again, this was going back and forth with Aqua, with Swedesboro, but that also put a 2-month delay on this project, and with seeding and with sodding and all that, and now I assume we're not going to be able to do that this fall. So what has that done, this delay, to the baseline of when this project is going to be delivered?
We anticipate it can still, the park can still be opened fall of 2026. Having it be seeding and sodded this fall was being proactive in case there was any sort of issue. We could correct it in the spring. Now that room for error, that buffer has kind of now been lost, but we can still sod and seed in the spring once the irrigation has been installed and everything running well, and have everything ready for the fall in that case.
Aren't people still sodding at this time of the year?
Well, the pipe's not in yet.
Oh, Jesus.
There's no irrigation set up, yes.
It's been ordered. It's in there on site, but again, this is a 2-month delay while everybody figured out where we can connect. So,
But now that we know where to connect, why can't we put the pipe in?
but they are.
We have to apply for a road opening permit for the county for it to open up Lock Avenue and install the wet tap, and that
Takes 6 to 8 hours?
Well, I mean, to that point though, I mean, the fields themselves, I mean, you turn the sprinklers off this time of the year anyway, right?
Yeah.
So you can put all the piping in now.
They are.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as they get the road opening permit. Then
But why do we even need to wait for it? can we just, all pipes leading to, and then just
So
connect later?
what is currently installed in the park right now is almost everything, all the irrigation has been installed up to essentially where the access driveway is going into the
Yeah,
expansion. So just that last like 5% of the irrigation system has already been installed. It's just that connection piece into the Aqua line in Lock Avenue.
Because if Aqua had said no, we would have had to reroute the whole entire system. So they did it like basically up to the threshold, and it was just the last direction, so the last segment. But yeah, so now it's just getting that in. And
Just seems like we could seed sod. I mean, typically nowadays it's warmer for another month.
well, I don't know.
But we're just trying to get it in Germany,
Other
right?
parks are blowing out their lines and shutting.
Well, I'm just saying we
all
don't
that
need the
stuff.
sprinklers.
No, I know,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. We needed it 2 months ago. We
Yeah, I don't
needed
think
this
we can
all.
plan for us.
So, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I know, I've tried. Doesn't go well.
Were there any other questions on Lock Avenue Park before I move on to another topic? Okay. The 2023 municipal aid, Russell Mill Road and Back Creek Road. So there's been delays for starting the Russell Mill Road portion of this. I've been in contact with the contractor. They haven't been able to get a schedule, a crew schedule to do the paving on it. So essentially, I sent a letter on Friday expressing our concerns that you told us October 27th to start. Haven't started yet. The weather's becoming an issue for paving. And they replied essentially saying that because the contract time that was written in the contract was 180 days from the day of notice to proceed. So that puts, they have to be substantially complete by April. And when they're trying to schedule their crews, they obviously chronologically sort when everything needs to be completed by. Since ours was April, they kind of stuck us on the lowest of the priority list. And because that was what was in the contract, there's really not much else we can do.
So they want to push it to 180 days. They want to push it to
No,
spring.
the contract time in the actual contract itself, when it was bid, was 180 days from the notice to proceed date, which was October 27th.
Okay.
So they have 180 days from October 27th to be substantially complete for the whole project.
Right, I understand that, but again, we're talking about the weather, so if they can't field a crew now, and they're not giving you a date, that means we're
it'll
now
probably be in the
getting into
spring.
the winter where they're not, or we don't want them doing any paving in January or February, so that means we're gonna see this in March or April?
Correct. But yes, my best guess, they didn't explicitly say that, but that would be, yes. However, they did say they were going to start on the Back Creek Road portion with the new pipe replacement. That would be starting in December.
Can we prohibit them from completing this over the winter so we don't end up with a faulty product?
If they insist on doing it over the winter, we'll advise them no, because I don't think they want to, because they have to put the maintenance bond down on it as well.
Right.
And they'll be liable for it. I don't think they want to do it in the winter. I don't think anybody wants them to do it in the winter.
Mark, nothing surprises me, so.
Understood. But if they suggest that, we will advise them not to.
Okay, I just don't want a substandard product. If we're waiting this long,
Absolutely.
then I'd rather continue to wait and get what we're paying
Yep,
for.
absolutely.
Okay.
And the improvements to Oakview Terrace, that is currently ongoing. The concrete work began last Monday. There was a couple of resident concerns about the removal of the median. Essentially, the scope of work in this project was the concrete median in the middle of this road was blocking certain entries and exits into the driveways of the houses on this road. So part of the scope of this road and of this work, in addition to repaving the road, was to remove those conflicts of entry and exit into the driveways of the concrete median. That was what was scoped out, and after conversations between Jim and the HOA president, right, and some of the residents, there was an additional couple sections of island that were removed, but it was determined not to remove the entirety of the whole median, just the portions that were in conflict with the driveways. There were some segments where there was a very tiny bit of concrete median that we just had them remove anyway that was left over. There was an additional segment by Sycamore Lane where tractor trailers couldn't make the left-hand turn without going onto somebody's property. We had them peel back the median there so that they can make that left-hand turn. Yes.
So again, for the committee who hasn't been here as long, but most of us have, this project ended up on the municipal radar because of the failure of the original developers. Then in negotiations with the subsequent developers, it became the municipal's responsibility. However, the plans, the engineering plans were with the previous engineering firm who then had them for quite a while. So you just took it from issuance of the bid, correct?
Correct.
So once we got out there to have the bid, then the homeowners all went, wait a minute, what is this? So that's why we have a change order on this, and we're going to see a slight increase on it because we are now meeting what the homeowners want and the HOA wants even more. But this has been in the plans for 5 years?
It's getting more expensive because we're not taking out all of the median.
Yeah, because we're only taking, well, we're taking out,
It's cheaper, so it's cheaper to leave.
yeah.
And it makes sense to leave one from a speeding perspective. That was one of the concerns that was raised. The main thing was just original developer had houses designed a certain way with driveways. New developer changed the driveways, but the medians didn't change.
Right.
So basically, people who live on that road have to basically go away, turn around, come back to actually leave. So that was basically the idea, was to cut it out.
But yes, there is a change order increase.
The portion that would be covering is mainly that additional portion by Sycamore where a truck couldn't make a left-hand turn,
Right.
leaving Sycamore going onto Oakview Terrace because of the median there. So we just had to kind of identify that out in the field and say, can you remove about 40 to 45 feet of the median so that trucks can make that turn.
What's the change order cost?
That was like $3,900.
It was a little bit under $4,000.
Yeah, but it's still.
Yeah.
A small percentage of the contract.
Yeah, if we took out all the median, it was around 40,000.
Right.
Yes.
I want to remove the median anyway, so fine by me.
But again, yet another lesson why we need to get the HOA involved and make sure they sign off on it for whenever these projects are approved and remediation is done. So that we make sure we're not doing it at the last minute and incurring additional costs.
And another complication I was going to introduce with this is because this was included in the package with the Russell Mill and
Right.
Back Creek, and that was a state-funded project. Because the whole plan set was approved by the state, it can't really be changed after that point, because once the state approves it, that's what has to go out the bid.
Yeah.
So that's another additional complication that kind of led to this as well. And my final update is the 261 Paulsboro warehouse, the Nike base. This afternoon, the recommendation for TCO letter was sent from our office. So that's progress for that one as well.
TCO is, as we looked at it, is substantial completion because they are able to have a tenant in the building, fully occupied. So therefore, I did talk with Mr. Mascaro from Dermody, and he agreed. So then we would be able to begin that pilot payment process.
So that should trigger like another $200,000 for the redevelopment agreement, which would then basically pay for the lockout paving if we wanted to do it there. I know it's under the bond, so we don't say need to, but that is I'm pretty sure that's a trigger for the final payment.
Oh, we're already bonded for that. So
That's what I was saying, we could
we
flip
can apply it towards the fire truck.
Right, exactly. All I know is it should be roughly an extra 2 or 250 somewhere around that neck of the woods.
Well, that'll be a good calculation when you go
Yeah,
through and
right.
start readjusting all the pilots.
Okay. So he knows that's coming.
He should know that it's
No,
coming.
he does. We had the conversation.
And that was my final update. Any questions for me?
When will Block Avenue, it was pretty early on, we have 2 years to use the money, or the repaving of Lock?
Oh, no. It just meant the municipality took out a bond for Lock Avenue Park in 2019, and then we've been using that money to fund improvements since then.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it just means we have the money for it
Okay.
already.
All right, my other question is on Back Creek. When will that happen?
So there's two projects in the works.
Associated with Russell Mill.
So we just got the grant money today. We would have to develop plans and then put out the bid. usually that can take maybe a year or so to develop those plans and have it be awarded, essentially. So, I mean, depending on the scope of work, that could get done and be constructed by the fall, but probably maybe looking for maybe, I would say, spring of 2027.
Okay.
But again, hopefully we can accelerate it and pick a section that does not require DEP approval, and then maybe we can back it up to the section that we're already doing. That'd
Brian
be
and I
great.
have already identified another spot, just like we have already, but even worse down the street.
Right.
We can go next.
But it's worse because there's a dip and a
Yes.
piping, corrugated piping, so that's going to be DEP. Okay.
For the existing Back Creek project, whenever that is to start,
December.
just to clarify, it is only one lane closure, we're not shutting down the whole road.
I believe so. I can't recall the traffic control plans off the top of my
I
head,
know
but I
that's what
believe
we've
so.
said in the past,
Yes.
but I didn't know if
Yep.
something
Yeah,
else
they
changed.
confirmed that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Any
Thank you.
additional questions? All right. Liaison reports. Committeeman Frederick.
All right, well, you kind of just heard all the homework that I have, so most of it's on the bond, the pilot, obviously the Nike TCO, and with that redevelopment agreement, and the fire, so looking more into those, I'm very interested, Mark, if you can send me what you know from what we have left from the bond, in terms of what we've already allocated and what remains.
For the
And
Nike
I know
base?
we had a list of other desires, so I'd be curious to see how that would work.
For the Nike base.
No, I'm sorry, it is for Lock Ave.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, I'll send you an email.
Okay,
So
all right, thank you.
And then the last one that we talked about a little bit in the past when we actually did I think it was June, whenever we did the town hall, was behind us. I know Ryan Holmes and others, developers have expressed at least some interest of donating some funds to start moving forward with a park. At least I know Mansfield just opened up a new playground that looked pretty sweet, which would certainly very much needed over here. So I do plan at least to take off the original drawing and ask the township committee again for other ideas, just so I can at least keep going with different ideas and approaches. Obviously, $0 at all, it's just so we can start mapping out the next park.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, because I know you've mentioned it before,
Sure.
and that there are potentially developers who are interested
Right.
in funding that park. I would be more than happy to know who they are, or
Absolutely.
what the scale is, because thinking back, like when we did the expansion or we decided on doing the expansion for Lock Avenue Park, we did a study. The entire township did a study through the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission, DVRPC, and it looked at all of the township-owned assets, and then held public forums where it says, what is the need? And, at that point, there was, tennis courts. I don't think pickleball was a thing back then. But it looked at all the resources that were available to us, what the lands are, what the community desires are. And then from there, we made a priority list to say, okay, we need more organized sports fields. And that's how we determined we needed the softball fields and we needed the soccer fields. So I would want to get that study updated and hold more community forums to see what, in that intervening time, what has shifted, what is the community wants. Because without having dollars allocated to that, I don't know if doing that is a highest priority. It could be something else. And until we do a study to look at everything in its whole, then that might be the highest, because if we're looking at population, is it population? Is that a factor? What can go there? And then what do we allocate? Because as you're talking about with bonding and financing, we still got 5, 7, 8 years before we have additional funds. So unless somebody is giving us millions of dollars to do it, I would want to just update that study. So I think it's a great idea if you wanted to go and update that study so that we could see all these resources.
I also have an interest in looking for grant money for an all-accessible park. So that's on my radar.
Yeah, and that's Mantua. It is. They did like the, it's not turf. What is it? It's like all the rubberized playground. It's really nice. So.
Tag team, sounds good.
So I can contact DVRPC to get a price for how much it would cost to update that study. But to me, that would be the first step I would feel comfortable with, to see, again, what are all the resources, what are the community's needs, wants, and then go from there. But unless you have the magic money tree somewhere that would put that together, then that would be awesome.
Sounds good.
Okay.
That's my report.
All right. Thank you. Committeewoman Williams.
Oh, okay. All right. Parks and Recreation. We held a holiday card writing event here in the courtroom on Veterans Day. We had about 20 residents of the community come out and write several hundred cards that are going to be shipped to active duty military personnel. Next, we are having a gingerbread house decorating party on December 6th in here. We're going to be decorating cardboard gingerbread houses due to cost. Okay, the big event is the annual holiday tree lighting, fireworks, and food drive at Lock Avenue Park on Saturday, December 6th. So that's in the works. Then our next event is we do have an annual gingerbread house decorating contest that's held here down the construction office hallway, where people can bring in their gingerbread house, enter it into a competition. Of course, there's prizes, but if you want to vote, you have to bring in a canned good. So therefore, like, their family members can vote as many times as they want, but it's one canned good for one ballot. And then the last thing we have planned is a senior craft class on December, let me see, I have the date, on December 11th with Board and Brush, where they actually do the craft in the large conference room. I think that's everything. But as I mentioned, I'll update the map for the park with the lettering, and then I'm also going to start working on looking for grant money. And there's one more thing that I'm working on, and I didn't write it down. What was it?
How would we know that?
Wait. Okay. Oh, it just came to me. Mayor, you mentioned to me a welcome packet.
Yes.
So I'm going to start working on that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that we would give it to new residents who come to our community, move in.
All right, thank you. Any questions for the committeewoman? All right. Committeewoman Minhas.
All right, October's trash and recycling summary. There were 53 extra cardboard collections for the month of October. There were 120 metal collections scheduled, which was the equivalent of 2.4 tons, equaling to $285.60, which was received. And there were 308 bulk collections, which was the equivalent of 24.2 tons.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions? All right, Deputy Mayor?
I'll be quick, because no one else has been. I guess maybe Committeewoman Maness. Just on the Environmental Commission, the big excitement there has been recycling plastic. We just recycled enough to get yet another bench from the Trex Recycling Challenge. The Parks and Rec Committee has agreed to be the entity for the next round, so we basically have an every 6-month cycle we can get a new bench. One thing, though, that we're going to look at is if there's any possibility or bandwidth in our public works to be the ones to take the plastic where it needs to go. We're going to reach out to Trex to see if this can be a permanent program, because as much as we love the benches, I think we would just like to be recycling plastic bags at this point. But we don't know if they're going to be open to that. But
Where does it usually go?
it's been going to Acme in Logan.
Oh, okay.
But there's a lot of steps of taking pictures and weighing it for the challenge. But if we were able to get out of the challenge and just found some way to be a site that they're picking up from, we could finally add some recycling to our mix that we couldn't get before.
Why not take the bench?
at some point, our volunteers are really going to get sick of weighing the plastic and driving it to Acme, was the message. And it would be, I mean, we could ask Public Works to do it, but at this point, it's no longer really like a volunteer organization attempting to get.
So, but then that would turn it into an alternate recycle program administered by the township.
That would be something we would like to look into.
I think we're going to have to talk about that one.
Well, that's why we're talking about it.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to have to bring in our Public Works and,
Yeah, just throw it out there.
okay,
All right, that's all.
okay. Any other questions as I continue to think on that one? Any questions for the deputy mayor?
Bring this plastic to your house.
Yeah, no, thank you. I have my pile that I keep forgetting because, I'm never here in the municipal building. All right, under my report again, I think a lot of it has been covered. Joint Land Use Board meeting has not met in the last month, but we do have 2 meetings coming up in December. Yeah, and
What are those dates?
the 4th and the 18th. But I also would remind the committee, so Swedesboro, of course, has their holiday parade coming up this Saturday after Thanksgiving. And Parks and Rec will have a float in it, and all the committee is welcome to attend. And my husband has kindly volunteered to drive. So we can either be in the back of the truck or on the wagon. So kind of sounds funny. So we're all on the wagon if you want to be. But so just let me know, send me an email or a text and let me know if you plan on attending for the parade. All right. Old business. Town hall meeting sound system. So this is just an update for everybody. Unfortunately, there was a glitch with the system, which a lot of glitches have been occurring. Jessica, do you want to? Well,
I don't know, the whole building's been getting power glitches, where
Okay.
I'll come in, and my computer is down. But, yeah, when I came in, hit record, it just said all volume wasn't recording, so I just had a blank video.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are on it, but there's no
Oh,
sound.
no sound, yeah. So we will not be posting our town hall, unfortunately, because of that. But I know this has affected some others. You guys have had the meeting, correct, with?
We have, we met with Paul and myself and Shannon.
Bruce, BIS,
Yeah.
all together for a
Last
few
week.
hours. going through
Last
all
week,
the
right?
glitches, Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully that.
It's corrected.
It's corrected, taken care of.
They can resolve that popping noise.
That was one of the issues that they talked about, yeah. Yeah. I haven't heard it tonight.
I heard it once.
Pardon?
It happened once, though.
Did it?
Yeah. It seems to have something to do with moving around on the floor over there.
Yeah, they did talk about that.
Yeah.
It's resolved.
During one of my meetings in here for another group, the popping was, something was on.
Huh.
And the was the card signing. And we kept hearing all this popping, so we didn't know what to do. You guys were off because it was a holiday, so somebody unplugged a bunch of things. So,
Which
Oh, so
works
you're
out well.
on the recording.
Hit some
no,
breakers.
this was November 11th. And I told, I believe Shannon the next day.
It does seem like there's been some power issues. I did talk to Chris Beckett today, that if there's any other police issues, and then Jessica, any issues, just make sure everybody email me so I can start tallying these up and finding out where and what. Because I don't know all of the frequencies. Sometimes it just happens, computers go back on and they don't say anything. So I just wanted to start to tally this up and see if there's a real issue throughout. But sometimes today was an issue on our side. Police didn't have any of that issue. I couldn't get the computer up. I had to unplug it, plug it back in, and came back. But yes, I don't know what it is. IT doesn't really know what it is. They think it may be a power issue, so we just have to keep aware of it and then investigate.
Anything additional for old business? All right, new business, we have a presentation, so we'll let the presentation go first since they have patiently waited through the rest of our meeting. So we have representatives from the McDonald's USA Corporation here to present to us.
Thank you, and good evening, Mayor and members of the committee. My name is Danielle Chinback. I'm an attorney at Prime Chevelle Selly on behalf of McDonald's USA LLC. McDonald's is proposing to develop a new restaurant in your township. It is located in the Weatherby Town Center redevelopment area. So before we are deemed complete by the planning board, we need to present to the redevelopment entity and also be a designated redeveloper and execute a redevelopment agreement. So I reached out to Mr. Alice, and he suggested that this be the first step. Everyone's here for the meeting, and we can present to the entire redevelopment entity, which is the mayor and township committee. I had with me my engineer, Tiago Duarte, who's getting his things together. I submitted plans with correspondence on November 11th. I don't know if everyone has a copy, but we'll be able to put them up on the board and answer any questions that any may have.
The letter and the little diagram was pushed out to everybody.
Okay, so they've seen it. Okay. So I know the town has already had redevelopment take place, just for the record, the property is block 4, lot 4.02. This is one of the pad sites in front of the ShopRite that was developed a few years ago. Yeah, do we have an area?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll give you the bearings and then go into the actual site design.
So yeah, as you just heard, McDonald's looking at going into the pad that fronts on Auburn Road, immediately to the, call it northeast of the existing bank site that's at the intersection there with Center Square Road. So this, again, outlining the property at the center of the page here, and we have our shop right immediately to the right of that existing pad. Under the, I guess it was previously approved as a subdivision from creating two lots, two restaurants along Auburn Road there. McDonald's would be taking the bottom point. So we have access to the driveway that gives access to the site. Moving over to our preliminary site plan. The intent is to construct a new McDonald's restaurant, approximately 3,700 square feet, 32 seats. We've got the side-by-side drive-through lanes at the rear of the building. The access points into the pad site, they will remain as they are currently. It's been pre-constructed as part of the overall development, so McDonald's will be not disturbing any of those curb cuts. Entrance site gives you access to the drive-through lanes, and you're able to exit back out onto the general circulation aisle for the overall development, and it gives you direct access to Auburn Road. So the pad doesn't have its own curb cuts onto the road. It's all from the internal access ways. As far as the number of seats, I think it said 32 seats proposed. The original approval, it was a quick service restaurant. It was just a schematic design on the plan. I think that accounted for 100 seats, 2,500 square feet total. So a little bit larger building, but smaller number of seats. Again, the drive-through plan is a big component of McDonald's business. Parking, so based on the seats and the number of employees, it'd be 16 spaces are required. This layout proposes 32, so we meet the parking requirement for the number of seats and the number of employees. Just in general, utilities, everything's existing on site, so we'll be tying into stormwater, domestic water, sewer, everything would be tied in, nothing going out into the roadway. There's existing stormwater facilities directly to the right of the site or to the east. And there's also a larger basin, stormwater basin down between the ShopRite and the bank. So all the facilities are really there. It's now constructing and building out that pad that was originally envisioned as a quick service restaurant. And I also have
preliminary elevations to show what the building will look like. And this is the current prototypical building for McDonald's, and they modern design, no mansard style roofs, no bright colors. Brightest element really is the signs, the yellow arches that will be on the front and side of the building for the customer service areas. If there's any questions, I can answer.
Well, our first question is for the solicitor. So this redevelopment agreement, as best of my knowledge, greatly precedes me. And we're
Speak up a little.
so this redevelopment agreement precedes me, and we're being identified as the redevelopment entity. Could you tell us what our role actually is?
Sure. So the redevelopment agreement kind of calls out what may happen at this location. And I think the engineer was just speaking to that in a more limited sense when he said that when the redevelopment agreement was crafted, this was kind of on the horizon or on the radar. We planned on doing a fast food restaurant, and often when you have a developer, fair to say, that's why you were saying that, and often when the developer goes in with a big project like this, and let's face it, that shop, right, we all know it was a big project, but it was the trials of Job to get that thing brought the finish line. You do start thinking about what else is going to be there, and so you're talking about two fast foods, so why are they here? So the way the redevelopment agreement is, and it's really not that long, but no need to really go through it, it essentially says, you're the redeveloper, mayor, deputy mayor, township committee members. So in essence, they need to get your imprimatur before they pull the trigger on something. So even this is consistent with what they're proposing. Damien Del Duca, who was the attorney for David Zally, and he's ShopRite, talked to me and said, well, in an excess of caution, I don't know. And I said, you know what, why debate that? The language is pretty clear to me. It's English. I think you got to have the town sign off, and why wouldn't you want to involve the town? They got you this far. And he's like, no, you're right. And so welcome. And that, in essence, is why they're here. So what's the big idea? So the big idea they need to be here because you have to say, looks like it's a sensible way of honoring what our expectations are for this site, and you're going forward with that, and you're staying true to that. The next stop will be the land use board, where they will represent to the land use board that they came before township committee, and township committee either had no issue with it or had a particular issue or issues with it. And obviously we're getting a little bit of the abbreviated version here, presentation, because that's the idea, is in broad strokes, this is what we're fixing to do. When they go to the land use board, obviously it's going to be scrutinized and explained in a much more close narrative fashion. I'm just trying to, it's a fair representation of really what's going on here.
Yes,
what do you think? I'm missing
correct.
something?
Yeah, this is the first stop. Before we can be deemed complete by the planning board, we need to be designated redeveloper, which is done by a resolution, and also have an executed redevelopment agreement. Unless we get a waiver from that requirement and work it out as a condition of approval, but we wanted to present the project, in redevelopment areas. It goes to the redevelopment entity, to the council or committee first. And then, if you're amenable to the proposal, which it does, it is a permitted use, so there's no issue with that, and just, what the next steps would be.
And it's a two-way street because you're maintaining your relationship with your resident, with your town and your township committee, and we get to, maintain that relationship with the developers. And I think it's a win-win. I think it's a good thing.
I guess my question is around what level of discretion is there related to a redeveloper and redevelopment agreement? Because by the time we make it to land use board, that discretion is effectively gone if this doesn't require any variances. Is there a greater level at this stage?
Well, there certainly can be. I mean, I think with, and you'll forgive me, because I do like McDonald's. I think with the McDonald's, it's a fairly kind of known entity, quantity. So there's not going to be a whole lot of diversion from, what you typically know as a McDonald's. But we can ask them that. Is this going to be some sort of peculiar McDonald's that goes off script and does a different menu or a different something? Or is there going to be something, untoward about it? But I think the gentleman is just saying, no, it's pretty much a straight up modern design on McDonald's. But let's ask him, is that fair to say that it's going to be?
Yeah, I mean, the intent is to bring a McDonald's that everybody knows and some love. So, yeah, there's no deviation from the standard operating plan. It's a prototypical building, so the design is what Don is looking to bring to, across the board nationwide.
So to the deputy mayor's point, he makes a very good point, as he was wont to do. What would be your concerns? Do you have some concerns? Because we can explore them right now, as far as traffic or design or impact or something like that.
I have a question. So there's a McDonald's just 5 minutes down the road. Like, are you guys shutting that one down and bringing a new one here, or just keep them both?
Yeah, I'm not aware of the existing one, but this.
Yeah, it's just 5 minutes down.
It's on the same road.
Yeah, on the same road.
Yeah, as far as when they retained us, we weren't made aware of the plans.
Right, and your role is, you're not on the phone with McDonald's CEO or...
Yeah, no, I get that, yeah.
Right, so you know that it does happen where they do have that situation, where they have, locations, and McDonald's, they've been around the block, so they do their research. There's a reason they want to be there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's fine, I'm not arguing that at all, it's just a general question,
like
yeah.
Wawa or Dunkin'
Yeah,
Donuts, when they
exactly.
can't drive, put
Yeah.
their gas, we just aren't aware that there's a plan for that location.
On a personal note, in my town, guy put a car wash, 553 Woodbury Glassboro Road, killing it, decided, needed one, about a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile down Woodbury Glassboro Road. Just built another one. Same design. And guess what? Killing it. So obviously, he knew that it was going to work.
I do.
Yeah, no doubt, I don't, well, I'm not saying it's not gonna work.
I'm gonna play off of that. So again, you are representing corporate. This is not a franchisee. So is there the possibility that the one that is in Logan is a franchise holder and not by corporate? And is that why it didn't pop up? Or, because I'm assuming, again, to pick this location, you did your study as far as volume and traffic and average flow, which I'm going to ask that.
But they wouldn't necessarily have done it as far as location-wise. They would do it for traffic for the land use board, for impact. But again...
But they still, in order to pick this location, they still had to figure out where their volume, where their draw
But I'm just saying, these individuals, this team.
No, I know, but they might have the answer to that.
So what I can offer there is, McDonald's is a real estate team, and they bring the deal to us. So we do a due diligence review on the zoning specifically, but they already have whatever marketing material and numbers in mind before they approach us and retain us. I will say, in some occasions, we've done projects where it's going to a relocation. So the intent is to close something that's nearby. This one is just called a new store, so I'm not aware of any plans to close anything nearby.
Okay. And while this is, as you said, a very standard facade and all that, I have seen McDonald's that have customized a little bit more to match. Like we have our 77,000 square foot shop, right, and has a specific architectural style, and so does the bank. Is there any flexibility to have the style conform a little bit?
The answer is yes.
To match the shop, right, and those, yeah.
John, I think that's the first yes I've ever heard from you. The most definitive.
I wasn't even an attorney, maybe.
That was my concern as well, that we have a lot of brick.
Right. And this is not.
This would tie in nicely if it was brick.
Yeah, I mean, not being the architect, I know that
Right.
they have a certain criteria that they adhere to for typical design, but there's options for changes. And we can definitely look at by the team.
Has McDonald's gone away from play places?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You miss it, Mark?
That's a whole nother story.
I
I
think
know
Mark
there
got
are
stuck in the tube going down.
Yeah, well, I have seen some remnants of them, but I know there are other fast food establishments that still have.
I haven't seen a new shape play.
Yeah.
Is it just the older ones that
We've done some
are?
remodels that maintain them, but most other remodels, they just get rid of it.
And new builds don't have them.
You have to see the building.
Because you're saying the majority is going to be drive-through traffic, not sit-down traffic. Even though this is in a location where kids will be riding their bikes, they will be walking across the streets to this location. This is going to become a hangout.
Right, so that's gonna be one of my questions, is there bike racks here? Because it'll be heavily biked.
Yeah.
They'll have to be, I believe,
It'll
that's part of
have
our
to,
ordinance.
yes.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did provide one, but yeah, I mean, we can certainly review that and provide more if necessary.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I just took the picture down, but what is the frontage of Auburn? Is it the shorter side or the longer side? I'm assuming longer. Just off of the,
I think it's the longer side.
Auburn is the drive-through side, of the windows. Front side, that's when we're facing the bank. This is facing the parking area, so like away from Auburn, and that's the rear, which would face whatever the ultimate user behind us would be.
gotcha. So when they take the order, that's on the, where is that? That's
You go
the,
to the site plan.
my concern is the sound, because we do have a bunch of units behind.
So the menu boards and order points are at the rear of the building. So you pull in, you got 2 lanes here, done to McDonald's standard now for drive-throughs, and the speakers are pointing away from Auburn Road.
Once they're pointing, basically it looks like they're pointing directly to the affordable home units right behind.
Yeah.
So my question is basically there a sound wall or anything on the back side that would deflect the speaker?
So this design is not incorporated the sound wall, but we can touch upon the sound characteristics of the menu board.
I mean, it's gonna be
quite
here, and you're concerned about here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally the house is like right there.
Not gonna travel that far. And the ordering boards, they adjust to the ambient sound level at that time, so if everything's very quiet, they'll become even, have less volume.
And comply with the performance standards for the noise at property lines.
I guess one final question for the attorney for me, is there any action required this evening, or are we simply to hear this and then the agreements will come from there?
You know, we could do it any number of ways, and I could even discuss this, you know, with council. I mean, I guess technically, formally, they would like maybe a resolution at the next meeting for us to kind of say that we had this and we signed off, and further, that maybe there was some sort of adjustment or modification vis-à-vis your comments and these discussions. So how do you want to handle that? Do you have things now you can publish to the applicant, or is it a situation where you want to, you know, kind of on the fly get things there? And then remember, it's also going to be at the land use board.
Right. What is your timing for presenting?
Yesterday, probably.
Yeah,
They wanted-
yeah,
No,
I mean,
they
as
want
soon
to,
as
well,
we can. We weren't expecting official action tonight. We were just coming, you know, to present. This is the first
Right.
presentation and introduction of the project. You know, we do want to submit to the land use board as soon as we can.
is it engineered out?
I'm sorry?
Is it engineered out?
Yeah, it must be engineering stuff.
Sure, if it's a standard, it's just.
Well, no. But that, I mean, that's good because they're ready to go, and it's also good because now if you make suggestions, they will immediately know what the impact is because it's engineered out. They might not be thrilled, but they'll, you know, go with the flow.
Where, and this isn't for you, but maybe Jim, where's the second parcel? Like, because if there was a second parcel that was for restaurant, where is that?
It's, yeah, back kind of.
Right next to it, to
behind
back
it.
up
And
to
if you
it.
looked at the site plan, we have, a connection.
It's along Auburn still, right? It's north of it, on Auburn.
Yeah, north.
Yeah, we do.
So they would be connecting through your parking lot to get to the,
And there's a wraparound.
Well, that's how
road.
the subdivision was initially
Gotcha.
approved, so there's nothing we can change about that now. That was the access that was approved.
So that second parcel also does not have access to Auburn?
Do they?
it would be off of Eagle View Trails,
There's a
wouldn't it?
connector road, I think that ends up connecting back.
On the backside of Eagle View.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Eagle View Trail, I think. So, I don't know, that would be a joint land use board question, if that's the two connectors. If it becomes.
I mean, to your point, I know it was supposed to initially come off of the ShopRite parking lot where they could access, and I can't tell from this diagram how they would actually access the second
In
parcel.
between the two trees.
Otherwise known as the ditch and the
Well,
basin.
no, I think, again, they would be driving past parking lots to get, or parking spaces to get to the other.
Yeah, can you show, is that, so I see the basin.
Yeah, so, apologies, I don't have an overall plan of what was previously approved. So, again, here's your access point off Auburn Road. It wraps around the two parcels, and actually, that circle. This area here is where the stormwater basin currently is, and I believe this road loops back around, I believe. If not, it at a minimum reaches that second lot. So you have access to the lot.
Can you show me on this example? I'm talking.
Two access points here, here, and then this road comes off the main.
Right.
Loops around and go to the back.
Okay, is that a communal, shared? So that's a shared, but as part of this, but it's still on your property?
Yes, so these 7 spaces are on the McDonald's lot, and counts with McDonald's, but that's shared, it's a shared aisle between the two restaurants.
And you're proposing to construct that shared aisle? And then whoever then would tie that into here?
Yeah, whatever their design and how that road comes through.
Thank you.
So they would pull into the ShopRite and then take a left, and that road would go
And I just
all
can't,
the
is
way
there
to
two,
the next line.
is there 2 entrances? We obviously have the one.
No, there's an
for
entrance and
traffic.
an exit.
I guess I would love to see a traffic flow. I know it's more of a J-Lo question, but just, I'm concerned, it sounds like where you're going as well, that are we having any ability to create the second
Well, here,
establishment?
you have that?
So, yeah, we don't have any control over this lot, but I'm going to correct you. The lot above
Right.
is lot 4.03, so we don't have any control, and that would be subject to a separate site
Right.
plan. So
I understand
if-
that.
Yeah.
So-
I'm just trying
So-
to understand access.
What do you,
Greg, if it goes, sorry, so here's your path in off of Auburn. Entrance in, but then it could continue to this communal drive, but the communal drive, there's another road that's here that is not constructed, but that would take,
Behind, on the other side
Yeah.
of the basin.
yeah.
That's why I couldn't tell. if it
Yeah,
was
so it's the
actual-
other side of the basins, but they're not proposing to connect it here, only through here, but then with the shared drive aisle, so then whatever comes in would have this and to connect it.
So who's in charge of that road for development?
Good question.
What was the question?
That
Who's in charge of
secondary
constructing
road, I mean, that's,
secondary
I
road?
can't quite tell.
Because it's off their premise.
well, just make sure we're all on the same page. Can you show which one you're talking about, Fred?
Well, can you point out to the rest of the committee where that secondary road is?
Yes.
On the area?
No.
No, that one's perfect, because I think
Yeah,
you
that's
can see
good,
it
yeah.
past the basin.
So again, this lot, the McDonald's lot has 2 driveways onto the existing circulation aisle for the overall. So this road connects between Auburn Road to town center.
Yep, and that entrance is already there. Yeah,
Yeah.
Signalized it, well, actually, or signalized. And there's an intersection here which is partially constructed, so you've got the curb cuts already in for the McDonald's, for the end user. Both of them are there, and then everything's just open. There's supposed to be a road that wraps around the stormwater basin, which is not there yet. That'll give you access to that rear lot, but you can also just go through the McDonald's lot and the 2 access points to the rear.
So has that road already been approved by the land use board?
It would appear so, because it has a curb cut.
Okay, all right, now
Yeah.
I don't know what the trigger for development
We
is.
could do an exhibit that shows.
Okay,
how
no,
the-
then that's the plan. That's the
Yeah, so
plan.
there was a subdivision approval, and there was preliminary site plan for the 2 pad sites, even though they didn't have a user. There was a
Right.
preliminary site plan, not final.
Where's the back on that?
The bank is.
Right there, right?
Yeah.
You said signalized on all of them, that's not signalized.
This one's not, so, yeah, sorry, my mistake. Signalized.
Put a signal there?
No, the town center, that's the signalized, and this is just a stop sign.
So you've done traffic studies already to show that that does not need to be signalized?
You can't make them put a traffic light there. You can ask them, but they're not, but that's gonna be DOT.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Well, do you have counts as far as the volume that this restaurant will
that's what-
generate?
Right.
We do, yes.
Not,
We have there'd be a traffic engineer, which is dynamic traffic, and they reviewed the prior DOT approvals, which did account for a lot of that.
Say that again, say that again? They refused what?
They reviewed.
Oh.
So the prior approvals did account for traffic generated by these 2 paths as well.
Was there DOT approval or just county result of a county?
Well, to the administrator's point, why, what would be the tipping point, or what would require a signal there? Because obviously the administrator's got some concerns about the
Sure,
level
there's
of traffic
different signal
already.
warrants, different signal warrants that would have to be analyzed for thresholds that would require a signal. Not being the traffic engineer gave you the specifics, but it's a study.
So Jim, are you saying
They
that,
kind of set it up that way, CVS coming the same spot, right now it's very difficult. You put more retail there.
right.
Coming out of CVS.
so that's
go
a
left.
county road, right? So,
Yeah, and typically they do align driveways as part of the design, so that has been previously done.
Because it would be great if you could make applicants put in lights. That would be heavenly.
Germany did it.
Hmm?
So Germany did.
right.
So it has been done. Yeah, I guess I would like to see the traffic flow, especially again, getting to the second unit. And again, who, from a role's responsibility of when does yours end and where does theirs begin? Whoever there is, I guess, is the second lot. It seems like that part is kind of neutral to both sites. And I would assume you want most of them to go around the McDonald's as compared to going through.
Well, presumably these spots remain under common ownership, because I'm just assuming that Dave's Alley and ShopRite is having these as tenants, correct?
Yes, it's
Right?
yeah.
Right, so
Oh,
they're
it
going
is.
to be
Okay.
long-term tenants. So that's a plus for the town, because now you're really dealing with one entity, and the tenants are going to have to go along with, with whatever the landlord and the town decides.
Okay. Well, again, to me, it's the trigger for that secondary road. And if any reassignment, we need to be very cognizant of that and what triggers the building of that road.
I almost feel like I would like to have a part of this somehow, whether Zally does it or not, just so it's there and
Yeah,
accessible,
leading up to
and
it, yeah.
a second owner would be more welcome to do it.
Well, why don't we just ask now, have you talked to Del Duca about any of this, about when that might happen, or what else might happen, or?
No, we're not privy to any conversation.
But I mean,
Other
but
parts.
you're acquainted with Damien Del Duca.
Yeah, I know, and Damien asked to review our plan to ensure, it can connect to the existing and proposed parcels. So we did put that in front of the owner. And,
I understand.
they're planning for.
It's a little awkward, but at the same time, everybody understands why people are so curious.
Yeah.
And just to answer the original question of how much would be constructed on the other lot, just this dark gray area, which would be the second half of that circulation aisle, we have 7 spaces that are accessed only from the, call it shared drive aisle.
I'm more interested in that wrap around the basin, because I don't remember that as part of the design.
Yeah, that's an additional plan that we can add to the set to pick that.
Well, again, I'm interested in the facade of it and it not being stereotypical McDonald's, to make it match more of our Woolwich aesthetic, especially with that lovely other building right there on the same parcel. So something a little more customized. I think you heard that this is going to be very popular with teenagers and kids, and so I know you have to go to the Joint Land Use Board, but also additional bike racks and the flow. This is going to be very, very interesting to hear what the volume is going to be, especially as Committeewoman said, a mile and a half down the road is another McDonald's. So, yeah.
I mean, specifically, it's 2.7.
2.7.
It is on the same road, 1701 Center Square Road is the McDonald's, and 65 Center Square Road is the ShopRite.
And Mullica Hill's not too far away either.
Oh, that's at least 3. But.
Well, I'm gonna hit them all one day.
Nice.
All right. Any additional questions? Okay, sounds like we have a lot of questions. Hopefully you can, then I guess next step is then getting back to us with the answers and.
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, because, listen, it's, at the end of the day, collaborative. They wanna see Woolwich succeed, you insist on Woolwich succeeding, you wanna see them succeed. So it can be a dialogue now, and if you have some specifics, we can push them out to council, we'll share them with the client, and the engineer, and all that stuff, and vice versa. I think you've already given, is it fair to say, some indication of what their thoughts are, concerns about traffic and access, also the actual look, the material itself, perhaps more of a brick versus what you're presently proposing, things like that. And then reach out to me and we'll navigate or negotiate some way forward to make sure your needs are met and Woolwich needs are met.
Okay, all right, so we'll look into those and get back to you and dive into the redevelopment plan and the prior approval to get some of those answers.
It sounds wonderful, yeah. And just loop me in and just whatever you need. Just, hey, come on, we gotta figure this out, we'll do it.
So, Solicitor, as I had mentioned, I had not reviewed the redevelopment agreement for this particular property.
Yeah, I'll get it out to you, it's not a whole lot.
I just wanted to make sure that we're leaving this with, at least myself, neither having endorsed nor not endorsed this, and no implication of that until I've reviewed that redevelopment agreement.
Well, I think we all agree that we all love Woolwich, and McDonald's we're pretty fond of, and we'd like to see this come together, and that's the first step.
Well, there's gonna
Here we are.
That secondary component, I'm ensuring I have not stated.
Well, no, I mean, there's no way they're going to go in there and say, listen, we're a township committee, they gave the imprimatur, we can do what the hell we want, and we're glad to see you, because that's not what happened. And there's no advantage to making any sort of representation like that. And also, as we well know, we have township committee members on the land use board, and that's the whole idea of why we do it that way.
Which is why I have not asked as many questions as I would like in this particular section.
Well, because the form is a little more constrained, and by design. I mean, it's a little clumsy the way they've done this, but they want to keep the town involved, but at the same time, they want the land use board, because it is an independent kind of autonomous body, to have the biggest input and the biggest say. So, but that redevelopment thing's a little bit of a hybrid, so to speak.
Well, there's going to need to be a new redevelopment agreement for this parcel, and I think what you were saying, I don't think the other agreement actually covers.
Doesn't really
and
get
it
to
was
specifics.
Suspenders that Mr. Dudley asked for that clarification on the old agreement.
So the first
there'll be a
step.
new agreement that has to be negotiated as part of this development.
So why is there a new RDA if it's just a leasee?
If it's what?
A leasee?
Why is there what?
A new RDA?
Because the old RDA only covered the large parcel to the rear.
Okay.
Because there wasn't a user for these two yet.
It really just basically spoke to, and by the way, when you're looking to take the next step, the town's got to weigh in.
Okay.
So they didn't come in with, some crazy proposal or some crazy use.
Okay.
And I've worked on, I'll tell you, other redevelopment plans that have this phase approach, and other redevelopers have to come in.
Yeah.
All right, any additional questions at this moment? and thank you for your presentation. We look forward to hearing more.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, when do you think we can do a designation, at least as the first step? What do you need from McDonald's to show they're worthy?
Let's start with those emails and answering some of the questions. I don't think there's the comfort level from getting that designation quite yet. So
Okay.
let's have a little back and forth with our solicitor.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I told council, I said, this township committee is intelligent and engaged. So believe me, we're going to sort it out, and council is just the right person for that. So I look forward to working with you. And you too.
All
Thank you.
right, thank you for your time. Have a great day.
Okay. Renew lease farmland agreement for township-owned property. Clerk, can you fill us in on that?
Of course. So, last year, we went out for a lease agreement for the farm on the properties. We had one bid, which we awarded. According to our lease agreement, we're allowed to 2 extensions for 2026 and 2027. I'm just bringing it up now so I can jump ahead if you guys would like to extend that group, a lease agreement for 1 more year for Stecker. And if not, then we can go out to bid again next year.
Again, I don't think we have
Something that
any.
usually do all the time. We extend it each time, and then when we run out, we just go back out to bid.
And I don't think we have any immediate plans for the land, so I think, I don't foresee a problem with extending it. Does the committee have any issues with that?
No.
Do you need a resolution from us, or what do you need?
No, that's just consent. I will reach out to him and let him know. Go from there.
All right, any additional comments or thoughts? Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll work backwards. The reorg meeting, again, like last year, we held it right before our first committee meeting. So at 6 o'clock, and then a regular meeting at 6:30 on January 5th. Does that work for everybody?
That was so fun.
So, again, this way we don't have to come in on an extra day. We'll just come in early at 6. So we'll do that on January 5th. But we do need a closeout meeting.
Was it you? I couldn't remember.
So closeout meeting date, clerk, what are you looking at?
What works for the committee? I don't, what day?
Well,
The
basically,
29th,
yeah,
30th?
29th or 30th. Is everybody going to be around? Any travel plans?
I mean, it doesn't have to be that final week if you want
Yes,
to do it the 22nd or the 23rd of December.
Oh, really?
We usually do that kind of during the day. We've done it before earlier. But it's.
What do we
Yeah,
do
we've done
at
lunchtime
this
before.
meeting?
Pay bills.
Yeah, this is just basically to close out all the bills,
Oh,
the last
Which
bills.
should
So
be
it should be
exceptionally
very
quick.
quick.
No ordinances.
Yeah. No. So it should be relatively quick.
so do we do it before Christmas?
Well, we can, but not too much before, because again, we want to make sure we have the full picture of all the bills. So that's why the 23rd or the 29th or 30th, especially if we can do like a lunch or
Can we
1
do
o'clock
lunch?
meeting.
Yeah,
we
I
can.
think lunch.
Well, let's ask those who work full-time if they could do a lunch meeting. I know you have Mondays off, which is, not that you don't work.
Can I phone in if necessary? I don't know if I'll be here.
I believe so, yeah, we've done that.
Okay. The 29th works great.
29?
Any other objections to the 29th at noon or 1 o'clock?
Is that to meet me anyway, so.
He looks excited.
Good so far.
Okay, well then do we do noon or 1 or?
I'll just take one with me.
Are we in
29th.
Tuesday?
Monday to
Or
I think we're looking on Monday.
Monday, okay.
Okay. And that's at 1 o'clock?
Does that work, Jackie?
I guess so.
I'll take it.
Was your schedule not prepared that far out? How challenging that question can be to answer.
I don't know when I'm taking off for Christmas because I have such limited vacation days.
Does that work for you, 1 o'clock or?
So
noon?
far.
Okay, All right,
You get mine.
Worst case, the phone and concept might work.
okay.
Yeah, just.
I still have
We've
plenty of
got-
time to sunshine it, so things do change.
They don't.
All right, we do have, yeah, if something comes up. Okay.
Just send a text at like 8 o'clock that morning.
All right. Okay. So now we've entered the second public portion. The public is reminded to please stand and state their name and address for the record prior to addressing the committee. Can I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The floor is now open for public comment.
Ready? Seeing no one come forward, motion to close.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The floor is now closed. Resolution 2025-303, resolution authorizing a closed session of the Township Committee of the Township of Woolwich regarding personnel matters, interview, review, hiring, and contractual matters, police PBA contract. Can I have a motion to go into closed session?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Can I do a potential motion to amend redevelopment agreement for McDonald's? Just have some potential legal questions?
Well, we don't have a redevelopment agreement with McDonald's yet.
Or with the Zally's existing agreement?
Well, we don't
No, it's really
we
not
can do
before
that on the
us right
first.
now.
Okay, I'll ask you.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was just basically a first step towards
So I just
something.
have some comments.
Something.
Yeah, I think we all need to take a look at that, in which I don't know if we have access to it right now, but, okay. So not amended, as is, resolution to go into closed session. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. I assume we're gonna be there half an hour or less. We are in closed.
So,
Okay. Can I have a motion to return to regular session?
Motion.
Second.
Motion a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And can I have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-304, resolution of the Township of Woolwich, County of Gloucester, making an appointment to the position of Chief Financial Officer and Qualified Purchasing Agent? Can I have a motion?
You didn't name who it is in that.
Well, okay. Well, that's the title. So therefore, if we expand upon the title, we can. But that's the title of the resolution.
Do we need to name someone, or do we just need to adopt this resolution as is?
Well, what would you like to accomplish?
I would like to hire.
Why, is there some reason you wouldn't want to publish the name?
No. I'm just saying, but if I'm reading the title, it does not include her name in the title.
Oh, right. Well, you could just read the title. That's how it is on the agenda, but now you can
Okay.
say for the purpose of
All right.
hiring.
So again, Resolution 2025-304, resolution of the Township of Woolwich, County of Gloucester, making an appointment to the position of Chief Financial Officer and Qualified Purchasing Agent will be offered to Yvonne Bullock, with the terms outlined in the offer letter, which will be attached to said resolution.
Perfect.
Motion.
Can I have a second?
second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions?
Yes, there is a line item in the resolution about dollars, so I'm not sure if we need to actually name it. And it says terms of contract.
She included the offer letter.
Yeah, it's going to be in the offer letter.
Okay, it was just in the resolution as a blank line.
Right.
Okay.
So the resolution will be filled out according to the offer letter attached. Any additional questions? Roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Midhouse.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes dated October 20th, 2025, regular and exec?
Motion.
Can I have a second? You can't second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any changes or corrections? All right, for minutes, you can say
All in favor?
all in favor
Aye.
or abstain if you're not. Okay, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No, abstain.
There you go.
I wasn't here.
Right, so that's what you say.
Okay.
Right,
I wasn't here.
so that's what you say.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can't remember the date. There was a meeting, last meeting, it was,
Yeah, so you abstain as well.
I can't remember which date it was.
It was
The
this one.
last one? Okay, yeah.
So abstain.
Abstain.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, Cindy, you weren't here.
All right, so, did you get that recorded? Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the bills and purchase orders as submitted?
Motion to approve.
Can I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick,
Yes, abstain on Verizon bills.
Committeewoman Midhaus,
I don't need to abstain again, right?
No.
No.
This is just
Yes.
bills and purchase orders.
Committeewoman Williams,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino,
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Again, please let me know if you will be on the Park and Rec float. And have a good Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yes, thank you. Happy